Wrong date.
Sure is a lot of buttons.
I know, tell me about that.
Good? All right, I'll call to order the Millersville Board of Commissioners regular meeting, Tuesday, September 19, 2017 at 5:30 p.m. If everyone would please stand for the invocation and pledge to the flag.
Let's bow together. Father, tonight as we bow in your presence, we're thankful for the privilege to meet here tonight in this place and have a peaceful meeting where different ideas will be shared and different issues will be discussed, and we're thankful we can do it in freedom and in safety and security. Father, we lift up tonight our hearts in prayer on behalf of those in Mexico that are going through horrible times at this moment. With an earthquake that's hit, we think about Maria bearing down, Lord, tonight on Puerto Rico, the people there, headed up the East Coast, and who knows what's going to happen next. But we know that you're a good God, you're a sovereign God, you're in control, and we trust you, Lord, tonight. And we love you, and we thank you for Jesus, our Savior. In whose name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Somebody move.
Heads up on that
That was going to be interesting, that video.
All right, we have some public hearings tonight. The first one will be ordinance 17-680, rezoning 2164 Ted Doris Road, Robertson County map 125, parcel 208.02 is rezoned from commercial C3 to C1. I'll now open for public comment. Seeing none, I'll close the public comment. The second one, ordinance 17-681, amending Chapter 90 of the Code pertaining to Section 90-8, Use Classification System, and Section 90-213, Intermediate Industrial District. Now open for public comment. Seeing none, I'll close public hearing. Item number 3, approval of the August 15, 2017 regular meeting minutes. Call for a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the August 15, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Be 4-0 with one abstention. Item number 4, acceptance of the August 2017 financials. Call for a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the August 2017 financials.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 5 is presentations related to the conceptual addition to City Hall project. We have 2 different people, and it doesn't matter to me which one goes first. You want to go first? Sure.
Take a second to set this up. And I'm going to give you what?
You should be all right.
Share a few of these.
These are just packets of what's going on. I'll place this for the audience. So this is what we're talking about.
That's what's there.
So appreciate the opportunity to be here. We're excited. This is an exciting project for you guys. Been talking to Ms. Miller and some of the other city staff about this for quite some time now, and I think we've got a good handle on what it is you guys are looking for in your expansion. You know, by the way, I'm Bob Logan, I'm with OHM Advisors, engineering consultant for the city, and y'all probably see me up here more talking about engineering more than buildings. And we are OHM Advisors. We are an architecture, engineering, and planning firm. We've done some architecture here in the city in the past with the community center, and we've partnered with Kenyon and Calhoun. We've done quite a few projects with them in the past, and they're going to help us out on this with our own internal architects. But as we've been up here for going on 10 years now, working with you guys, we've gotten to really understand what it is your all day-to-day operation looks like. Started to make great relationships with your city staff. I've even had the chance to walk around and talk to some of your different department leads, development services, code, stormwater, police, fire, public works, but to really understand what it is that they'd like to see in the building and what their needs are and their wants. And that's kind of what our design process will center around is that whole, total, holistic approach of seeing what it is you guys need now, what it is you're looking for now, and what your future needs are, how we're going to plan, how we're going to program this. And I'm going to let John talk about that a little more. He's the expert there. But I just wanted to introduce OHM in a little bit different light than your typical civil engineer, which is what I'm up here usually doing. But John will walk through each of the exhibits. OHM has a good portfolio of municipal architecture. We've done numerous city halls from cities of all different sizes, a lot of public works facilities. This is really right in line with our brand as a community advancement firm, and we're really excited to work on this with you guys. So with that, I'll turn it over to John for a little walkthrough of the design process and how we'll take it from there.
Thank you for letting me speak here and present in front of you guys. My name is John Calhoun. I'm one of the principals of Ken and Calhoun Workshop. We're out of Nashville. We've been partnered with OHM on several projects and try to kind of turn it around and walk through some of the ideas or concepts from our initial meeting. I know we came up here and
They've got
I got everything you need. All right. So for the most part, we came up here and met with city manager, and we talked through some of the things we need to look at. And the way we work as an architecture firm, we gather information, we then distill it, process it, and come up with good solutions. And the first page, of course, shows the existing facility, and then the second page is the way we think through working with site concept or program information. And one of our steps in our project approach is the first thing we do is we do a charrette and workshop, and that's the reason we named workshop is we work with the cities and government entities to come up, get together, gather all the groups that we need to gather information from, do a workshop, and then go back and process that information and make sure we're thinking about the current needs, the future needs, and then that way when we work with the civil and all the other engineers and team members, we're planning ahead. We don't want to get in a situation where the building is landlocked right out of the gate and no growth opportunities. So we think through that, even if that means laying it out in a way that we may need to add on later in a future phase. So that sheet with the color diagram is just really basic program information. These, please keep in mind, they're conceptual only. These were just based on initial meeting and kind of show you how we work. Once we get started, we'll really hone in and kind of go through the programming and the materiality, making sure it fits within the community and matching buildings you guys want and need, and then meet the needs of the different departments. So as you flip through it, then the massing studies are basically just ideas of what could happen. Of course, once we start meeting and going through this, we may go through 3 or 4 variations of the design, or 2 or 3, and come up with different ways of approaching this. But essentially, OHM and we will work together and come up with solutions, and hopefully we will meet your needs. And we typically work with many different cities and different governments. We're doing the police headquarters in Murfreesboro now. It's $45 million, and then we're doing a $1.5 million Columbia renovation on their police headquarters. So we do all the in-betweens, and we know how to process all the sizes of projects. So we feel like we can do what you guys need us to do.
And just to reiterate there, what you're seeing here is it's just a preliminary kind of concept representative based on the sketch that was provided to us, and we overlaid that on the original site plans of this building. Keeping in mind that these images don't have the materials, that's something, we get into the aesthetic discussion down the road to match the community center, that craftsman style with the brick and the stone and the wood veneers and all that kind of stuff gets hashed out in design. The really key element of this whole process is you all and your staff and understanding those needs and what's going on inside the building. What it looks like outside, that's easy. These guys are pros, they make that happen in as easy as can be. But really the key is laying out that building to meet your needs and for now and for the future.
What do the different colors represent?
Different departments. We know, and we didn't label them for the reasons, because this is very preliminary concept only, but blue, police, red's fire department, we had different meeting spaces. And we understand there's a second floor that will be open floor in the codes departments and different groups. So these are just blocks to show that we're thinking about spaces and adjacencies per our meeting with the city manager and talking through the needs you guys may have. And so we really will hone in on that more the next, if we get brought to the team, the opportunity exists, we will meet with each department and find out room sizes, adjacencies, specialty equipment, things like that for each department.
The existing building, how does it fit into this particular drawing?
On this particular drawing, the footprint basically is that little area is that bump out, which
Of the cars. See, Keith, you can see the under part of the cars that are there. So they've literally taken a picture of the site and laid this on top. Do you see that? Yeah. See the cars?
those cars are
Is
existing
existing.
photo. And so this building
They've laid it on top.
comes and does this. If you look at this, that bump out
That's the new part.
is
Yeah.
that portion. So really the stair in that front end is the addition on this side, and this piece is the addition.
And then Tim was pointing out here, Keith, right here, see that section here on the front? This is
Yeah.
where they're adding. So that kind of gives an idea of the existing
Okay.
building.
And when we came up to meet with Ms. Miller a few months ago to talk about this and review the project, after the meeting, I had a chance to walk around with Brandon, the codes official, and I've been working with Brandon for a few years, and the space that he's added in the back now, and where y'all have had to build buildings inside of the storage bays in the existing garage behind the building, and kind of, you got police and fire and public works all competing for space in there, and then you're having to expand offices. And one of the challenges we've kind of foreseen on this project is code compliance, because as soon as we start having to add on to the front of this building, we'll have to, mechanical, plumbing, electrical, all of those things will have to be done for the entire building. And I was kind of talking through some of those issues with Brandon, and he's well aware, being a building codes inspector. And maybe one of the goals to be opening up some of that storage, those bays in the back, to get those office spaces into the office part and allow the fire department, police department, whatever it may be, to utilize that garage like it was intended to be used for. Just a few of the little kinds of things we were thinking about right out of the gate.
So Karen, I have a quick question. So is this kind of what you were,
Basically, the drawing that Tim provided all of us is basically what I gave them, to give them an idea of what we were thinking, and let them.
From what I've
go from
seen,
there.
they fixed a lot of the issues it had.
and so what about the security? Because where would that be? Because I know that was a big issue that we discussed.
We definitely talked to Karen quite a bit about that, about how when you walk into the building, when the public enters through the front, it's clearly defined what's public space and where employee entrances is. The glass window for the utility billing and the clerk's office, if you will. And then with secure access to the rear, independent access to the police department.
And it's not gonna show up at that level until we get to design.
Okay.
But it is something we will definitely, that'll be another layer of communication as well.
All righty. Anything else?
You guys have questions for us, other than?
No, and the only other thing is, y'all remember from when we built the community center, I was here, I just want to make sure the building's timeless and similar to like what you said with our community center. We've got a kind of a theme going on with the city, so that's my little comment then. That-
Yeah.
We actually went down and took photos of both buildings and details and make sure that's how we're thinking about it.
The roof lines and the materials, that would all be easily match up. With a two-story building versus one-story building, there's some modification, but it would certainly be no problem to maintain that consistent beam.
During the construction of this, if we decide to add on, pretty much city business would have to cease in this building, wouldn't it?
Depends on how we phase it. That's where, once we get moving, at each phase, we work with the contractor to start entertaining concepts of phasing, construction budget, making sure what we're drawing and what we're designing stays on track with your goals as a budget and time. And so we would have those conversations with the contractor on how we might think about phasing portions of the work versus the entire project.
Have y'all done anything where they bring in like portables for the,
We have, not necessarily on city buildings, but on some schools and different types of projects we have, yes.
And Mayor, you bring up a good point that I mentioned, is, our intention is to take this thing from concept from the beginning all the way to occupancy and you guys up and running it. We're not gonna just hand you a set of plans and say, here,
Right.
have fun, go build it. We want to administer the entire project from start to finish.
have y'all had any experience in maybe moving City Hall, the working part of City Hall, like to another location?
We have, we've done facility management and furniture management and all those types of things that go along with
Okay.
it. And helping drive and navigate that process.
We kicked around a couple ideas of using the community center temporary facility to set up some office space in there. And there'd certainly be a lot of logistical things to work out in terms of not interrupting city services, day-to-day business. Certainly something we can work into. It has to be worked into at the time.
I know if the building's occupied, the construction time's gonna go way up. It's gonna take a lot longer.
If you ask a contractor, they're gonna say the best way is to leave the building. Evacuate the building, yes.
Do you have any kind of estimate on how long it would take?
Well, that totally depends on what you guys end up deciding you want your project to look like, and it would be, we would look to you guys for what your budget is for the project, and design a project around that fits within that budget, and try to achieve all of your goals within your budget that you've established for the project. But until we have the details of the actual construction types, what the scope of work looks like, it would be tough to
Yeah,
develop.
we hadn't really got to that part yet.
But that will be developed as we move forward.
Right.
You will learn that pretty quick if we get contractor feedback and understand scope, and all that stuff that goes on with it.
Yeah, I think the next step after this is probably nailing down a set of blueprints that everybody can agree on, which is gonna drive how much it costs to build it.
If we do go to community center, say if we take City Hall down to community center, is the building structured in such a way that it can take care of the business of the city and the citizens that come in? Is it structured in such a way that computers and all information that we have here in the present building be transferred physically down there with no problems? No, in other words, won't set the city back or hurt the
That
city in
would
any
be
way?
something we would have to evaluate with the existing conditions of the community center.
I can kind of answer that a little bit. There's certainly the concept of having it be serve as a temporary facility for some of the city services was discussed when we were designing the initial facility. Again, that was the architectural group at OHM, but I know we talked about it. My guess is it probably won't be 100% seamless, but it's probably, will work to some extent. We'll make it.
Well, anytime you move, if you're gonna be moving the police and fire department out of one position to another position, there's gonna be a time lapse there. And I don't want our city put it in any danger for the citizens if we have an emergency or need fire equipment. So So I'd like that, that's in consideration, I'd like to see that in consideration if we can.
Man, the original idea was to move actually billing and payments, and myself and Holly out there, not move the police or the fire.
Okay.
And leave them here, so that it would be seamless, so that we
Okay.
wouldn't have that problem with emergency services.
Y'all can do that kind of work even though the police and fire is still here?
We can
Well-
coordinate that, yes, sir.
So,
That's-
let me ask that question though, because the part of the building is still here. So I would think they could do it in phases of construction that would not hinder some of them still being able to use the facilities back here and then continue transitioning as it's built.
The departments that we would be shifting
You know?
over,
Good point, good
we could
point.
isolate and keep all the secure groups in one
Right.
area. And it's completely isolated, separate entry, separate drive entry, so we can manage that. But again, we would work with a contractor to logistically lay that out where it works for everybody, so that they can come and go, and then contractors can come and go.
So back where Thomas's office is, and Mark's office, and Brandon's office, back here, would it not be bothered during this construction?
If they wouldn't be.
Okay, so
It's
that
gonna
would,
be-
that would leave that back there open
Yeah.
for the
Exactly.
citizens to have
Exactly.
safe.
Then you could build the new space, build the addition, would pretty much have the rear of the building blocked off with access provided. Once the new space is finished, you could move them up and do whatever work.
And then vice
Well,
versa.
Renovation
Well,
work.
thank you, I'm glad to hear that, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks.
All right, Mr. Anderson?
Can you pass one of these down for everybody, please? Brown shade. I'll share with you.
Y'all need another one? No, they don't need one.
Are we all done?
You want one?
No, look at that. Oh, wait, here.
You can have one, too. You need to
I want
read
to make
it,
sure I get one.
you need to read it into the minutes.
Yes, yes.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay. We're almost ready.
We get there.
There's a glitch.
Operator error.
Don't even want to go to sleep. There it goes. I did a presentation recently with a group, and it had an interpreter there, so everything I said, they had an interpreter telling what's going on. I didn't know how to get out of there with my hide, you know what I mean? I could, no reaction whatsoever from anyone. It was, but anyway, we had this type of thing going on, and we were trying to communicate. It's very difficult. You ready? Okay. My name's Tom Anderson, and I have with me this evening John Duzan. John is an intern with our company, and actually it's been with me since, I'd say 92, or so, anything so. So we're located down in Millersville, and anyway, that's what we do. We're architects, but also we're a general contractor as well, but we're just here for the architectural part this evening. And what we've come up with is a design. We went ahead and kind of laid out a floor plan based upon the schematic or the little conceptual diagram which we were given, and just kind of let you see, feel how it fit together. It's pretty much like Zone, as a previous solution, because we both went off the same conceptual diagram that you gave us. We just want to get those spatial relationships, kind of tell how it all works. And
You want to go through that part here?
yeah,
Basically, what we're doing is we're kind of separating our public and private areas. Obviously, this would be the kind of a public area where people can come in. There'll be a two-story lobby, and you'll see that further in the other slides. When you come into the parks office area, those will have glass with slide-throughs in them in order to keep the public from being able to just, wander through aimlessly through the facility. Your city manager, city recorder offices over here, dual use break room, being able to be used by your fire department, your police department can all use that same area. Public restrooms, we do have a family restroom here with a staff restroom here, so that staff's not having to come all throughout the building in order to get a restroom. We're leaving these intact back here. So to speak to your phasing earlier, it would be fairly easy to phase this in. The current area that you have for your recording area and so forth right now would become squad rooms with the police department that's existing. And then we have a 9-person council area here with a total of 68 seats available, with a conference room off of that. It could also be, locked off and allowed to be used by the public at some point in time for, a gathering or something other, if y'all wish to rent that space out or use it for something of that nature. Moving to the second floor, obviously access to the stairs or the elevator. You have a kind of a lobby and balcony area here. This would end up being more of your community development coach office, parks director, some general office in there. Again, the same kind of bathroom, break room group upstairs. There was some mention to us about secure record storage currently that we all are looking for possibly, and we've kind of included that here at this point. That space then could be, another space later for more offices as needed, and then another large meeting room up above. When we get to our exterior, we kind of, advance one slide here. We started looking at the existing buildings that you have already, the precedents in the public library, kind of this entry gable that's here, and some of the ways that the buildings look as far as their finishes and things go. And we've got this, we've got kind of a brick area here. We've got this hardy plate siding with some vertical siding, with kind of green metal roofing, standing seam, some rock down below, some little eyebrow canopies over some of the windows to help with some shade and shadow there. Take you into the interior. This would be more the public space here. You enter in, you've kind of got this clear story here, allowing in light throughout this public area. Then you get into your areas here where you can get into your various offices and so forth. So kind of really securing the whole facility, keeping the public in this general zone here. Just kind of a 3D view of what you were seeing in the things. We've got actual private stalls for each one of your recorders, but the recorders link to talk to each other amongst that. So that, it's not just closed in and gives it places. And again, that up with and I'll turn it back over to Tom about square footage and things of that.
We have a total of about 11,002, that takes out the area up above where you're looking down, so we can count that as square footage, although that costs just about as much as square foot does, for sure. Consideration was given to the site where we're developing out to the point where your parking is now, trying to just keep your existing parking footprint as it is. And we're hoping that by taking what we have here and then adding some green space, we're hoping to stay status quo with the runoff that we have and possibly whatever water quality things we have in place at this time to probably stay. I've not explored that really, but I do think that we could put this thing together in such a way that you could just move just a partial bit. I was involved with Cornerstone Church when we put on the big addition down there, right at Oakland Boulevard, and I was the owner's rep. And what we did is we took two portable buildings, which you would only need really one, and put it out there to where they could have communication, and put it right here on this site. People know to come to this location, they probably should be here, in my opinion. Put a portable building out there, they're totally contained, they have a septic system on there that they come out and, I mean, you actually have flushing toilets and all this type of thing. So they're self-contained and allow you to have business at this location. And other than that, we put together what we think is a probable cost on this structure, real close to 1.8 mil with the elevator in it. That comes to about like $160 a foot. I base that up on just the site being easy to work with and the quality of the construction which we have. That's what we're thinking. Anything else, John? That does.
I don't have any.
Go back to that last slide of showing the existing buildings, that library. Is the outside of this building, if we decide to do that, will it be concept on that type of material used? You know, we got rock part of the way up in our buildings.
You have a kind of a wainscoting with rock out here with a kind of a hardy plank. You currently have shingle roofs on this. We were proposing kind of a metal roof, but it could be either way on that, depending on price. So going back to the elevation here.
Okay.
That we had kind of in this area here on both sides, you have a hardy plank. You kind of got this rock wainscoting across here and around the columns, brick, and some vertical siding, just to kind of give a difference in pattern, maybe even color. And then kind of these brick bookends of these areas here. These roofs kind of are meant to feel like they kind of float a little bit. Just kind of give a little bit more height.
I know Commissioner Coleman mentioned this already, and I have that concern as well on the inside of the building for the employees. Understand the glass in front of the lady's office, is that bulletproof?
That's what the intent is, and also have some quarter-inch steel down below. We've recently done some of those for the utility department.
You know, it's sad to say that in this day and time, but, you know, it's sad to say. But also the doors in this thing, I asked Fire Chief Thomas King earlier, are they employee usable where they only use it on these doors? I don't know if we're that far along yet or not.
We're nowhere near that far along, but you could easily put a little deal on there where you have a bunch of board number code or something like that that gain access back into the city manager's recorder area, into that area back in there. And you can also even implement some of this stuff up above that the building code department should they ever choose to. Now, and of course, this is very preliminary as well. So, I mean, you know, we may end up with an airlock as you come in. We may have a place where you put metal detectors to bring people in for courtroom activities. Just any number of things we can put in there. But at this point, we just want to kind of show some spatial relationships. But, you know, it's sad to say that you got to have this bulletproof stuff, but it's also sad to say that it's just like the little family restroom up there. That's, you know, I mean, we have a men's, women's, and we have an extra restroom. But that's for family or any kind of orientation, whatever, you know, transgender restroom, whatever. it's coming, and I just hate to, you know, what's America coming to, I don't know, but,
Question. We're showing about 11,200 square feet total.
yes, sir.
How much are we eliminating? In other words, what is the net square footage gain from what currently exists to what you're proposing?
Probably about 10. Because in our square footage calculation, did we take the squad room back there?
Yeah, that 11,000 takes into account all of this, obviously, you know, about right through here, and you can see that in your plans there. That section could be taken out.
It would also take in this room as well.
It would. This room would be incorporated into the design.
Are these gonna be pretty safe for tornadoes? We've had people come into these buildings, I should have asked OHM, but I didn't think of it. But it was consideration that was been brought up by the mayors and others, that people come in here during tornadoes and stuff. This building is not acceptable for that at all. But would these buildings be safe for those folks that want to come in here and try to gain shelter from whatever comes at us?
What you usually do on something like that is you take one large room and let that bigger room that you try to. And there's really no such thing as tornado proof.
Well,
I mean, we put them out at airports and everything else, and, the engineers that we have working with us can make them where they'll do 400-mile-an-hour wind, but they'll never give the guarantee that it's absolutely tornado proof. But you make one that, you put some type of a reinforced concrete room in there somewhere, and you'd have it. I don't know, how many people did you put in there? Just, whatever square footage is, divide it by about 7, and you'd have it, you know?
yeah, I know.
Okay.
I think the squad room here was, in our design, was, all of this area is kind of a block or concrete.
Reinforced masonry.
Reinforced masonry. So that was kind of the safe room area that we were including in.
Okay.
Of course, the further you get into the interior of a building, and then have the tornado resistant structure, the safer anyway.
That's good.
So just to kind of quickly sum up, our total square footage for that is 11,197. We're providing security by separation of public and private areas. We're providing provide space for city and public operations, such as council meetings, public meeting rooms, open lobby, gives a welcoming environment with natural light. And in addition, is speaking to those other buildings that you currently have, both the library and city, and that would be proper.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
We certainly appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
That'll get your attention.
That's so bright in here.
That'll get your attention quick.
Yes, it will.
Take them and get my eyes adjusted back.
Where's the sunglasses?
I'm assuming you will move this to the next work session. We're good?
No hurry.
We can just
No, you
stick it
can
where nobody can see us, and that's fine.
All right, item number 6, approval of ordinance 17-680, Forest Road, Robertson County map 125, parcel 208.2, rezone from commercial C3 to C1. This is final reading.
That we approve ordinance.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Gregory?
Aye.
Mr. Bell?
Aye.
I vote aye. Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Doris?
Aye.
Motion carries by unanimous vote. Item number 7, approval of ordinance 17-681, amending chapter 90 of the code, section 90-8, use classification system, section 90-213, intermediate industrial district. This will also be a roll call vote, second and final reading. Call for a motion.
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 17-681.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Mr. Gregory?
Aye.
Mr. Bell?
Aye.
I vote aye. Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Dorr? Motion carries by unanimous vote. Item number 8, approval of TDOT agreement for Phase 1 multimodal project and allowing the mayor and city manager to execute the same. Call for a motion.
Make a motion that we approve TDOT agreement for Phase 1 multimodal project and allowing the mayor and city manager to execute the same.
Second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yes. Karen, if you can kind of elaborate for everybody what's going on with this, I would appreciate that.
We originally applied for $1.3 million on a $1.673 project, $1 million project. We received $1 million, apparently that is the cap that the state has for rural cities. Either way, it's for the sidewalks and the streetscaping that will connect the library and the community center all the way up to the school. That's Phase 1. And the grant covers for construction only. It does not cover for the NEPA, which is something that's required by the EPA to be done. It doesn't cover design, and it doesn't cover any kind of costs related to right-of-way acquisition. The city would have to actually front that. However, I have spoken with the MPO already. There is money coming. Hopefully next month it'll open up, and we are applying for them to help us with that those portions as well. So hopefully our cost will be a lot less than was anticipated. And from what I'm hearing from them, there's enough money to cover quite a bit of it.
Well, I just personally want to say thank you for working so hard to get this grant, you and Michael Barr for doing that. This is exceptional for our city to get these sidewalks, and I know that you had mentioned that there's more phases to come in the future, and because we have been granted this grant for $1 million, that we will be getting others in the future. So I want to thank you to you and your staff for doing an exceptional job in having this done. So I want to make sure that's
Thank
done.
you.
Yes, definitely.
Well, while we're on the subject, I just wanted to let you know that this week I've been working on the Tiger Grant, which is straight from the Federal Highway Administration. It does not come pass through the state. And I am going to apply for Phase 2. And the cap on that one is also $1 million, so hopefully we'll get that.
And so far, since you've been here, we've received so far $2.75 million in grants for this city, which is incredible. So I want to make sure everybody understands that's a lot of money for the city that we have been allowed to have, and I just want to say thank you.
Very good.
I just want, next to the last page, on this right here, that's where you come up with the NEPA, which is 100%, design is 100%, and then the road, whatever that is. That's
Right of way.
Okay, that's 100%. And then construction is also called local, that's 100%.
That would have been our match if, and I don't agree with these numbers, but that's what they put in the contract. All of those 100% dollars, I'm asking the MPO to help us with.
Well, that was just what I wanted to go over, because I knew it was, that these were all at 100%, because in the contract, it breaks it up on which one is accomplishable,
Right.
what section, what we had to pay, what TDOT's gonna pay, or whatever.
Right.
And, but that's what I was gonna go over right there, and I just wanna make sure I was right on that part right there. So you're saying actually the first 3 is what we're gonna come up with there?
Well, we're responsible for the first 4.
Okay.
But I am actually asking right now for us to fund the 40,000 because the NEPA has to be done.
Okay.
And I've been told already, both by TDOT and by the MPO, that as long as we get the NEPA done, then once we apply for help with the rest of it, we're in good standing. So I'm gonna ask for help for the next three, which is the 190, 253, and 435.
Do you know when we might hear from the MPO when that,
It hasn't opened up yet. As soon as it opens up, they're gonna let us know.
okay. And do you know that timeframe or
Hopefully it's October or November.
October? Okay,
Mhm.
that's all.
It's soon.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Anybody else? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 9, approval of ordinance 17-682, amending the fiscal year 2017-2018 budget to allow for the NEPA requirement on the multimodal Phase 1 project to be funded. First reading. Call for a motion.
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 17-682.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 10, discuss and take action on whether to allow the city manager to work from home.
Mr. Mayor, I've got an updated list, if I can pass the rest.
Sure. Anybody got anything?
I guess I'll ask a couple questions. What is your period of absence from this fiscal being? I heard it's 3 weeks, is that what it's going to be?
That's what the doctor ordered, yes, sir.
Okay. Is the doctor's statement, is it primarily that you can't drive or that you can't?
He doesn't want me coming in here and working where I don't have the facility to be able to raise my leg and take care of my leg properly. I haven't driven since he put me on this, except to go for therapy 3 times a week. And one day I went to pick up milk.
I understand that you might be out for an additional 6 weeks at a later date, is that correct?
That's correct. I'm supposed to have full knee replacement, hopefully by the end of the year.
How is that affecting your meetings with the public that come in here to ask to speak?
There hasn't been anyone who's come in to ask to speak with me that I've known. And if they do come in, they usually call me and let me know. And I'll call them and I'll meet with them over the phone.
What about meeting with commissioners? Have you been able to meet with
They have
commissioners?
actually called me. I spoke with Mr. Gregory this morning. I speak to the mayor all the time. Both Bonnie and Milton have actually texted me several times with questions. I'm able to handle that. As far as the city attorney, he came directly to my house yesterday.
What about, how much medical leave do you have with the city?
I have exhausted it as of the actual operation.
How much annual leave do you have? Any?
2 weeks. I only have 1 week left.
Is that vacation? What is that?
That's vacation.
Do you have any comp time?
We don't have comp time in the city.
In your opinion, what kind of, I guess what I'm asking is, in your opinion, how does this appear to the public, you think?
I don't know how it appears to the public, but I'm available. Several members of the public actually came by my house and asked me if I needed anything. So whether okay, let me back up. We are in a different world. Professionals don't need to be at their desk 9 to 5. I'm not at my desk 9 to 5 when I'm here. I am at other meetings, people come in to see me, and I'm not here. So either I get a phone number, call them back, make an appointment, and they can come in and see me. I am always available by phone, or any one of you commissioners are welcome to come by my house. That has always been the way it is in the 3 years I've been here. I would like to think that if one of my department heads had an issue like mine, with the technology that we have today, where people work from all kinds of places, I would be able to allow them to work from home as well. The computer I have on the laptop connects me directly to my computer on my desk.
Is that computer secure?
Absolutely.
Is it secure?
Yes, sir.
Through the city of Millersville service?
Yes. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm not always here. And neither are my department heads. Michael's not always here. He has meetings to go to too. So unless someone, specifically comes in and I'm not here, I have to call them and make an appointment either way.
Has any other personnel under your guidance been able to work from home in the past?
No one has asked. Under my reign, no.
Under your tenure?
I do know your previous city manager used to work from home. He used to call and say, I'm working on budget or whatever, and he would work from home as well, and there was never a problem with that.
How often do you do that?
I don't know. You would have to ask Holly because I wasn't here.
Would that
But
be-
according to Deborah, it happened quite a bit.
Would that be for a full 3-week period of time?
I don't know.
A full 6-week period of time?
I don't know.
Or 1 day a week?
I really don't know.
I can ask Deborah or Holly.
First, I'm go ahead,
No.
I'm sorry.
But let me ask you this, so let's say, for instance, though, someone needs to be met with them here. During that 6 weeks, can you not have somebody come pick you up?
Absolutely.
And bring you here and attend the meetings or attend the function, or if there's something emergency, you
No
can
different than
still-
tonight. I had somebody come get me to come here. I did not drive here.
Exactly. So my point is that you don't necessarily have to be home the entire 6 weeks. You still can have somebody, and I'm sure anybody in the department would come and get you if there was an issue that needed to be taken
Absolutely.
care of here.
I'll give you another example. White House and Portland wanted to have a meeting with Millersville regarding EMS service. This was going to be part of my update to you. Okay, last week, I was asked if, I could go to the meeting, and I called Gerald, and I said, I can't make it, I can't drive. Can we do a telephone conference? Put me on, speakerphone. Absolutely. That's exactly how we met. Today, we did exactly the same thing, and we had EMS there, we had the county administrator, the county mayor for Robertson County, and we had the mayors of the other cities. So as far as me being able to go to other meetings with other agencies, as long as there's a telephone or Skype, I can be there.
Yeah. Well, and I guess I'm just saying this in relation to when I worked with corporate. We had tons of meetings online that we were all over the country doing those meetings. And so I understand that completely, because as long as, I'm glad to know that the computer is secured, it's on the server, all of that. But as long as you have your phone and you have that computer and you can do meetings online, I don't have a problem with it. There's a lot of people that are doing it in this day and age, a lot of people, and business is still being conducted. So in my opinion, I'm not hearing, and I'm telling you, they will let us know. If there are issues of the job not being done and things not being completed, or department heads can't get in touch with you or anything like that, believe me, in the past, I have heard it in the last, 7 or 8 years that I've been here. So, and I haven't heard anything. The thing that I do know is that since you have been city manager, and I'm just I want you to understand, for the position itself, I am constantly receiving emails and text messages on all the updates that's happening within the city. And whether you've been off or not, and I truly appreciate that because I have not had that much information before in the past. So I think you're doing an outstanding job. So if you've been off, I have not noticed it because I'm still getting all the emails and all the text messages and everything that you've been sending in the past. So I appreciate that. So I think you're still doing an outstanding job whether you're at home or not.
I agree. I agree with what Bonnie's saying. You're on the clock. You're getting paid. You're working, whether you be here or at home. And I personally don't see the need you using your vacation time to work from home. You're out injured. It's no fault of your own. The doctor told you what to do, and you're following what he's telling you to do to get better. And personally, you're doing that. And I haven't missed anything. Emails, I can call you. I've talked to department heads, and they have no problem. They still know what's going on. They still know what you need, and they know what, still can get a hold of you. And I can get a hold of you. I think any commissioner here can get a hold of you. They won't talk to you, or any citizen. But I don't really see the need you use your vacation.
Well, and the other thing too, though, we need to make sure, though, maybe we bring this to the next work session,
That was my next point. Thank you.
that if it was a different type health issue, then maybe we might need to look at where the time was different, that you couldn't, work from home. But considering this type health issue that you have, you can still do all that needs to be done, I guess is the point. So maybe when we're at a work session, we need to make sure we do some clarification on what that entails to be able to work from home, depending on what that position is. I mean, that's definitely something to
Yeah, it's a
consider.
great idea. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate that.
Do we have anything in our personnel guide that restricts from working from home?
No.
Have any of the department heads that are here now on occasions work from home?
There hasn't been a need to.
I mean, because I've talked to all of them, and they've all indicated to me at one time or another they have done work from home.
Not under me.
No, I'm talking about in the last year. I mean, they have done work from home. I'm not saying it was an approved process.
Oh,
I'm just
no,
saying
I'm
they
sure
have
that
done
they've
work from
done
home.
work from home.
They have, and
'Cause
probably
every-
didn't get paid.
And that's
They
what
didn't
I was
get
just
paid,
gonna
but
say.
they're still doing work from home. I can point fingers right now in the room at people that done that here tonight, that works for the city. And they done it on their own. That's a good point, Mr. Mayor.
Well, it is my opinion that as far as allowing to work from home, in your case, it is up to the 5 commissioners. We hired you to run the city, manage the department heads, run the day-to-day operation of the city. It's not addressed in the personnel manual, in my opinion. If you feel like there's a need, say Michael needs to work from home because of some issue he's having, as long as you are comfortable with the work getting done the same way, I don't see that necessarily needs to be approved by this board. In my opinion, we approved that by hiring you and giving you the reins to the city, allow you to manage your people. I know I was told by one department head this week that he has probably had more communication with you gone than he had while you was here, and that he didn't particularly need somebody standing over his shoulder because you have got them to the point they know what you expect. So in my opinion, that is the sign of a good leader, a good city manager that don't have to stand over the department heads and crack that whip all day to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. I know for a fact, I haven't got any less emails or texts in the past 2 weeks than I've got in the past 3 years. And anytime there's any major incident in the city, I get a phone call. So, like I said, whatever this board needs to do, I have no problem with you working from home. If we need to make a motion to do something, then we need to make a motion to do something.
The position's notice was dated August 31st, is that correct? So today's the 19th. How much longer will you
I should be back Monday.
Monday? When do you expect to have your operation?
I'll know by the 28th when I go back to see the doctor. And again, I don't have a problem coming in, but you've got to understand that after something like this, then there's going to be expenditures to accommodate my situation. You know, and I'd rather not spend the taxpayers' dollars to accommodate me when I can do the same job.
What kind of
At home.
accommodations are we talking about?
At this point, I would have probably needed a recliner to be able to put my leg up properly at the right angle. And I have to be able to go get ice whenever I need to and do my exercises during the day like I'm supposed to. So again, that's taxpayer dollars and expenditures that really are unnecessary if I can do the same job from home. That's just where I'm coming from.
When did you start working from home? August 31st? Why are we just now addressing this issue?
I don't know.
I mean, why did it take this long, 19 days?
I don't know.
It did-
I'm not the one who brought
I
this
didn't,
forward.
I didn't have a problem with it to begin with.
I didn't know about it until a couple of days ago.
Well, I got a full-blown text saying I'd be out for 3 weeks.
Every one of you got
And
the
that
same
was
exact
2
text
weeks
that I
ago.
sent.
I did not get a text.
I don't know. I know I got it.
I did too.
And I know you texted me
I know
about
I-
5 days ago.
Yeah, I know I got a text that had no information on it, and then I saw it was a group text, and I saw where Bonnie responded, and a few others, and David responded, but I got no information on the text from our city manager whatsoever.
When I send a group text to all of you,
I've received nothing.
well, I don't know. I mean, the others got it, so I don't know.
I have my phone right now, we can look at it.
That's fine. I don't have my phone with me, so I cannot say one way or the other. Bottom line is, I knew nothing about this until Friday of last week.
And I brought it up because that's when I learned about it last week. And I thought it was somewhat odd that the city manager should arbitrarily make a decision to work from home without consulting with commissioners. And that's when I sent out a group text to all of the other commissioners asking them what's going on here.
Well, I got a text asking or stating that she would need to work from home.
If that's okay,
For 3
if I
weeks.
remember correctly, that's what I put.
And my response was, I do not have the authority to approve that, but I have no problem with that. And I was assuming that she had talked to, or heard back from other commissioners as well. Again, it kind of goes back, let's say she had 20 sick days. I would a whole lot rather pay her to be at home working and get something for my money than I had pay her for a sick day and her sitting at home watching TV.
Do you get sick days
Mhm,
even though you're on salary?
mhm. All salary, everybody gets sick days.
How many do you get exactly? I don't,
One sick day a month.
is that the same for all department heads on salary?
Mhm. All employees.
Well, I do know, like I've said, being in the corporate world, that we had an issue with doing short-term disability. And maybe we need to discuss it at the next work session. But at the same time, I have to agree with the mayor on this one. I would rather, instead of you getting short-term disability, I would rather you be working at home and continuing with the city, since it is moving in such the direction that it is, with the support and the help, and all the department heads everything seems to be flowing smoothly. And I would rather you work from home, because like I said, in the corporate world, there are a lot of people that work from home and get a lot of business done now. So, again, yes, I did receive the message, and I too didn't think much about it, because I know that you're continuing working, because I'm continuing to get emails. So, anyways, but you're right, maybe we need to look at this and put this on the next work session so that we have
I think we
something
did too.
written down for the future.
The way I look at it is, I don't mind you being out sick or whatever, but if you're on salary and you're also getting sick days, that's getting paid twice,
No, you're misunderstanding that.
okay?
If I take a sick day, I get paid for a sick day. I don't get paid for working. So, like what the mayor said, if I'm gonna take my sick days and my vacation time, I'm gonna sit home and I'm just not gonna do anything. And I'll put Holly in charge and everybody can go to Holly. Okay? But you're forgetting something else. During those floods, I'm still sitting at home. I can not get out, but I had every single department head calling me and updating me. I work Saturdays, I work Sundays, I work holidays. Okay?
I think we'll put it on work session, Mayor.
That's fine with me. It don't address what's gonna happen next week, though. We've got to make a decision tonight whether she can work from home next week or whether she needs to come in. Or the rest of this week.
The rest of this week, exactly.
Okay, I would like to make a motion that we continue for you to work as you are, because I still think you're doing an exceptional job. I just would like that we put this on the next work session so that everybody has clear understanding of how we need to move forward for issues in the future.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Yes. Manager Miller, Ms. Miller, you have done an exceptional job for the city. I'm not saying that you haven't. I mean, tonight's a good example of that exceptional job, getting this $1 million from the state of Tennessee to put these sidewalks in. I think it's something that David's been working on for, 4 or 5 years? There's no doubt about that. And I do know that you and I have worked together on some projects down at the state legislature. You and I were down there together. I'm not dispelling any of your work or your work ethics. Okay? So please don't take this personally. The issue that I'm concerned with is you're working from home sets a precedent for other employees to work at home. I agree that you probably attend more meetings, but by the same token, you're unable to even attend those meetings also right now. And I'm concerned somewhat with your health, because you have done a good job, but also the cities and what the precedence it sets for other employees. I don't know, I haven't talked to any of the employees. I haven't talked to the former city mayor, manager, but I'm sure there's been times, and from what the mayor has just said, there's times that a lot of people have worked from home. And I don't see a problem with that occurring occasionally. But I'm concerned with the extended length of time is what I was concerned with. And plus, just to sum it all up, plus, I seriously was not aware that you were working from home until last week, and then I immediately, and that came from a citizen, then I immediately sent out a group test to the other commissioners asking, who authorized this, is what I asked. And you may have sent me a text, because I did see responses to a text you sent, but the text you sent was entirely blank. I saw where David responded. I saw where Bonnie responded. Is there anything we can do for you? So I guess in the future, if something comes up, perhaps I'm using an antiquated text phone, you might want to call me.
Milton usually calls me and says,
Well,
what did that text
I'm
say?
gonna say this, she sent me a text and it come to me blank. So I didn't know what it was, so I called her and I asked her what it was. I've had to do that a couple of times here in the last month. So some texts I get, some of them I don't. Some of them come in blank. So I don't remember where that was one of them that come in blank, but I've had several that in the last month that's come in blank.
Well, I'll say this, that phone calling stuff goes two ways. If you have a question, she's got a phone, it'll ring. I know because I call it all the time, 2 or 3 times a week. I've been the mayor at different times for almost 7 years. And then the time that she's been here, I have got 100 times more information than I got out of the last city manager.
That's right. That's
He
what-
never called me.
I agree. That's why we have you as the mayor.
I didn't even know there was an MPO until she got here. So, you know, we're all still people. At some point, there has to be a little bit of compassion for people. I know our police chief got hurt. He's on the fire department and was injured trying to put out a citizen's house that was on fire. It still had electricity. It blew him off the ladder, and he broke his elbow. He could not function as a police officer with a broke elbow. So he used all of his sick days, all of his vacation time, and he was still short. And this commission seen fit to go back and give him back some of the sick days that he could not carry over because there's a cutoff. You're talking about an employee that had been here for 15 or 16 years and never used a sick day. And we rewarded that by giving him back a few of the days that he saved this city. That anytime we have a person out, especially in the police department, on a sick day, we have to pay another officer to come fill that shift. So instead of paying one officer to do a job, now we're paying 2 officers to do that job. If she's out, then Holly's going to have to do her job. So now Holly is shorthanded in her job because she's doing 2 jobs. So that's what I meant by the sick day thing. I would a whole lot rather pay her to work from home than I had to pay her to sit at home. And then Holly be shorthanded because we don't have enough personnel in this building to cover shortcomings when they come around.
If I may, Vice Mayor Bell, I understand your concern about the precedent, but I would like to believe that me as the city manager would make the right decision to allow a department head that's salaried to work from home on a secure computer as I am, rather than pay a sick day and have him sit at home. It's done all over the country. And like Commissioner Coleman mentioned earlier, it's done corporately all over the place. As a matter of fact, I worked in Florida from home for 2 other cities while I worked somewhere else full-time. So it can be done when you're in a professional setting. Regular line personnel who are dealing with the public on a daily basis, such as taking money and answering questions and billing and that kind of thing, no, you can't do that. But personnel such as Holly and Michael and our fire chief and our police chief most certainly can. And I would hope that as your city manager, you would allow me to make that decision, same way you 5 are going to make the decision on me.
I understand what you're talking about. We are not a private corporation.
Other cities do it.
We are not a private corporation. We are a city expending taxpayer dollars. We are charged with oversight as to how the money is spent here, what goes on here, and why it's approved. As such, you know, I want the public to know that we do look at the taxpayer dollars. If it's this commission's decision to allow people to work at home, so be it. But the point is, it's to be looked at, it's to be discussed, and it's to be brought out into the public. Now, as far as, you know, what Commissioner Coleman was talking about, yes, that happens all the time. Yes, in the private world, a business that I ran, We did it all the time too, but once again, we were a private enterprise using my dollars out of my bill flow. We weren't using taxpayer dollars. And as such, we are stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. And forgive me for bringing this issue up, but I'm not going to ask your forgiveness because it's an issue that needed to be brought up and discussed here at this table today.
I'm not asking for forgiveness, sir.
I'm not asking for it. Whenever I have a question such as that stewardship of the taxpayers' dollars, I'm going to bring it up, okay? And just expect that.
That's fine.
Anybody have any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
We're not
Aye.
voting on
The motion.
Where I move to allow the city manager to continue working from home part-time, but at the same time,
for the remainder of this week.
for the remainder of this week, and then we are to bring to the work session about the discussion for the next 6 weeks when she is off, to have some kind of policy in place for if this happens again in the future.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Number 11, move Brent Aldridge from BZA to the Planning Commission and appoint Bryant Aldridge on the BZA. Call for a motion.
Make a motion to move Brent Aldridge from BZA to Planning Commission and appoint Bryant Aldridge on the BZA. I'm sorry.
It's confusion. They got another,
I have to get spelling too.
they've got another brother named Brian.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? The reason this come about is Craig Elwick decided to step down from the BZA, so there is one open seat. Brent has indicated that he would like to be more involved, and his younger brother also indicated he wanted to be involved. So that is the reasoning behind it. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 12, approval of resolution 17-R-15 declaring surplus equipment. Call for motion.
Move approval of resolution 17-R-15 declaring surplus equipment.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Item number 13, approval of resolution 17-R-16 setting tow lot rates. Call for motion.
Move that we approve resolution 17-R-16 setting tow lot rate, which will be, $40 per day?
Yes. Second.
Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct. I second the motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item number 14, citizens' comments. If anyone would like to speak, stand, give us your name and address. All righty. Item number 15, city attorney updates.
He went to the restroom, he'll be right
He's
back.
lost. Well, we'll wait for him to get back. Yeah, we can do commissioner's comments. Milton,
I have none at this time.
Ms. Coleman?
Okay, I have one that I want to give to you to kind of look into. It came from Frank Fox. He's talking about, we want to be Millersville to be an inviting city. Fence posts along 31W and C. Smith Street tell me that the city is not inviting. I wish the commission would think in more long-term goals of city beautification, such as right-of-way maintenance and keeping up the 104 Clover Leaf, so people will truly feel invited. So those are my thoughts. I wanted to make sure I bring
Thank
that
you.
up.
May I interject something there? The fence post he was talking about with the farm fence posts that were put out for the eclipse, for parking, and he sent me that same email. And I discussed it with him, and that's what he was talking about as far as the fence posts that were down here across from City Hall.
Oh, okay, I didn't know, thank you, 'cause
Okay,
I had no
I was
idea.
like, I
got
have
seen
no
them.
idea, so,
I got the same,
No,
same
they're
email
not.
from him.
No, they're
still
gone.
there. They're not still
Oh.
there. They were just for the eclipse.
Yes.
okay.
And I thank you. The 104 Cloverleaf, that is TDOT. That is not our responsibility. And if we take it over, then it's gonna become our responsibility and we're not gonna get paid for that,
If you
so.
don't mind sending him back an email.
I will.
and copy us on it, so that way he knows that it has been addressed.
Sure.
Anything else?
No,
No, you're not.
oh,
David?
wait, I do have one more.
Oh, okay. We'll be back to you in a minute there, Bob. We'll be back to you in a minute.
Okay. I do have an issue with this red light deal. So I know I was on vacation when we discussed it at the work session.
We didn't, we tabled it until you could be there for the next work
It's
session.
on the next
Thank
one.
you very much. Thank you very much. Because now, I'll be honest, Milton, I'm using the back of your house to get out. Because between the hours of 3 and possibly 6 o'clock, when you come down Bethel Road trying to turn left, it is next to impossible to get out. And so, because you've got all these people trying to turn in, and then you've got all these cars trying to get home, you know, I'm using the back of your yard to go through there. Because it's just, it drives me nuts.
My
So
big-
I'm waving at you every time I go through.
Big cat was in.
He's putting a toll booth up there.
I mean, they have to put a toll booth there. Well, all I know is it's bumpy, so my poor little car does this number going back there, but,
Would it be on next work session then?
It
Yeah.
will.
yeah. Sorry, so I just have to, drives me crazy.
David?
Bonnie, since you bring it up about Bethel Road, what about Slater Street? We're
Well,
gonna do a study for one, let's try to do a study for two.
well, then add that, because I'm
I am.
not as aware of
Right.
that situation, because I'm not coming in and out of there all the time. I just know that Bethel Road.
You know, that was just,
Talking about right here.
Down here.
Down here.
yeah, this one down here. Yeah. Thank you. Glad to see Mrs. Miller back with us this evening. And, I'm just, sort of interested in what we're gonna do about the rest of 6 weeks or 3 weeks. But I will say, and I had said it publicly already, I'm gonna say it again, but, commissioners, if we was in that position, how would you feel about it? And me being in out of the corporate world as well, I had 150 sick days when I left American Airlines. So there is a reason to get these sick days be given and to bank them into the next year as well. I don't know if the city does that or not. I think they do. But, you know, one a month, one sick day a month to 12 a year, that's not a whole lot. But to me, I got several when I was there, but I didn't use them. So in other words, I ended up with 150 when I left, when I retired. But I have used them prior and then had to give an explanation why I was sick. Other than that, no problem. But I am a little bit concerned, I want y'all to know, that her using her money, her time, her vacation for this, I'd like that to be brought up for sure in this next work session, because I do have concern for that. And I hate to see her use her vacation and her homework. It's just me, but I want y'all to know it. But other than that, I appreciate everybody coming. And OHM and Mr. Anderson, all them coming. I really think this is some really nice drawings. And I'm looking very forward to this building here. And the sidewalks especially. I love those signs. They've been out there for years. But again, Mrs. Miller, when she became our city manager, this is when we started seeing progress in grants. You know, it took a few years, and she told me not to be in no big hurry. It'll come on, so we got the money for the sidewalks, and we're gonna try to do this building, so people can actually see where their tax money is being spent. And it's just good. I think the city's doing well. Again, I thank Mrs. Miller, and I do appreciate her. In the 5 years, almost 6, I've been a commissioner, these department head people are out of this world. They're the best I ever seen. And I'm gonna say this, but I mean it. And the employees of this city Yeah, we all be proud of. And I never knew all this until I become commissioner. And now that I have, I'm here a lot, and I can see everybody. I even like our lawyer sometimes. You know, if he doesn't talk too much.
We're doing good until then.
Are you done?
I'm ready for the attorney comments now. I'm done.
The only thing I have is I'd like to thank everybody that goes out and helps the community, fire department, police department, public works. They come out after hours, they work sometimes all night long. They do make a difference in this city, and they don't get told that they make a difference enough.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate all of y'all.
That's right, amen to that too, Aaron.
Now, we are back to 15, which is city attorney updates, because he was missing in action.
I really don't have anything, other than to tell you that there'll be two cases that I'll be spending time on. One, we got an answer in on Bethel Road Campground. I'll be working there. And the house at the top of the hill, what's in that street?
Litton.
Baldwin.
No, that's the,
Heather?
Oh, the Litton
Heather
case.
Drive.
Heather Drive.
I think we're gonna be able to settle, with, them reporting to the court instead of us, that the place is being kept up.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Item number 17, city manager's comments.
Sorry, bear with me, I do have a few things. I don't know if y'all recall, but approximately a couple of months ago, Tina Yoakum's mom became very ill and passed away. And she was in hospice at the time. We were in the middle of transferring all of our dispatch services, and Tina was a mess, because she's so conscientious that she wants to make sure that she's here. Her mother passed away, and Tina wrote this letter and asked me to read this to you. And because of the surgery and everything else, I haven't been able to do so. So if you'll allow me to do that now, I would greatly appreciate it. And if I get emotional, I'm sorry. To Karen Miller from Tina Yoakum. I want to take the time to thank everyone at the City of Millersville for the support they gave to me during my mother's death. At the time that dispatch was due to merge, my mother got really bad. I came into work that morning for a long shift, and Lieutenant Dustin Carr sent me right back to be with my mother. Tina Palmer, Lindsay, Christine, Brandon Head, and Deborah all covered my shifts. I cannot tell you what that meant to me. Mrs. Miller called me and told me not to worry about coming back to spend the time with my mother. That was a priceless gift, which I was fortunate to receive. Even though I was able to make it on the day of the merge, I cannot tell you the stress I was under at the time. Mrs. Miller relieved that in one simple phone call. We are honored to have her as our city manager. She has a heart as big as the city. I'm sorry. And it shows daily in her actions. She keeps us on our toes, but also is always there when we need her. I also want to thank you for the beautiful flowers the city sent to the funeral home. They were gorgeous. And to those who texted, called, followed me on Facebook, my miracle mama, or showed up at the visitation gravesite, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. The reason that I wanted to stay here and not merge to Sumner County was just demonstrated during the death of my mother. I am so excited to be a part of the Millersville family, and I hope I can extend the love that was given to me if the need arises. Also, when I was standing at the funeral home, I turned around, and there stood Chief King and Brandon Head. I just cried. I could not believe that they drove all the way to Lawrenceburg to pay their respects. Then I saw Chief Palmer and Tina Palmer and Josh Barnes come in, and I just had to cry again. Then at the graveside, here comes Deborah, walking up to hug me. I could not believe that she drove all the way to Petersburg for me. I cannot believe the outpour of support I have received from my two work families. There were cops and TWRA officers everywhere. I am blessed to get to do the two jobs I love, but most of all, I am blessed to get to work alongside each and every one of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Tina, Pauline, Joachim. This is what the city is. We are a family. I should probably have left it for last. I'm sorry. Received a letter from Metro. They are raising their rates for our sewer transport again. It's going up from $1.34 to $1.67. Just thought I'd let you know. Thank you.
Well, you don't have to give that back.
Keep that for
You want this one back?
No, that's okay. That's kind of right. I'm very sure.
We like that, we get some weeks. So what percentage is that right there? Is it on
Contract,
What?
You would ask
the
me.
rate, the rise in the rate.
No, I don't know what the percentage is, to be
I
honest
don't-
with you.
I think that's
About
part of
20.
the increases that was built into the
Oh, sure.
contract we've reviewed, so.
So it's 0.0224 cents.
1%?
Yeah,
Is that the rates that were built into the contract that we signed?
I believe so. But I don't want to say yes because I have not read the contract. I just got this today.
And I want to think that that rate you just said is only for the excess, but the daily flow, whatever, may only be like from 134 to 137.
Yeah, it's the excess.
Yes, so.
Um,
that's built in.
Tosha came in to do an inspection and we had some violations, all of which have been addressed. They're not huge violations, but they're still violations. Some of which have to do with the Public Works Department not getting training on bloodborne pathogens and some hazmat issues. We weren't aware that they had to. So now that we're aware of it, Thomas has handled it with them, and he will be teaching the classes. We also have gone online through YouTube. There's other classes that they can take that way, and we will be in compliance as soon as we get those started. So I just wanted to make you aware that that had happened. The Sumner County Council of Governments banquet is the 21st? 27th. I've heard back from all of you. Mayor, you're the only one I didn't hear back from.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just assumed, so I put you in.
What time is it?
6:30 or 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
The nursery, Long Hollow Nursery.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know where it's at.
And I think that's it.
Nothing else?
Just wanted to thank everybody for, like I said, I've had people pick up my medicine for me, and Publix delivers, which is good, even though it's costly. And everything that my department heads and my employees have done for me. Couldn't have done it without you and with the members of the public that have come out and just been super.
Motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
You know,